Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of This Week in IP&O. We are, of course, as always, live from the couch in my living room. And today we have a very special guest. People who frequent the Rutgers Golf Course may recognize her. This is Lisa Jensen, who is the PGA Professional Manager at the Rutgers Golf Course. Lisa, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Hi, everybody.
Welcome, Lisa.
So as the weather's starting to warm up and people are starting to get into the playing vibe, what are like the conditions right now for the course coming out of the winter? And also for people who haven't been to the course maybe last summer, what are some of the new guidelines that are in place? Like social distancing, et cetera, all that kind of stuff.
Sure. Well, right now we still have a bit of snow on our more difficult holes that don't get a lot of sun. So 10, 11, 12, snow on the green, snow on the tees. Hopefully the next couple of days we'll take care of that. The guys have done a little bit of dragging and blowing on a few holes. So those look pretty good. 18 looks fantastic. They did that the other day. I think we've got to be careful as well because it is also wet out there. We have some frost in the ground, and between the frost and the snow melt, it can get a little sloppy. So I actually think conditions are going to be great this spring. I know snow is a pain, but it certainly does add something to, it does help us in the spring and the summer. As far as new guidelines if you weren't at the course from last year, we still are enforcing masks and social distancing. We're going with all the university guidelines and whatever's come down from the state as far as the golf course needs are concerned. We are sticking to 12-minute tee times right now. We are proposing a change to that come mid-May when hopefully there's a stronger vaccination situation. Range will be open. That's up in the air as to whether we're going to have every mat or every other mat for the beginning of the year. Let's see. Inside the pro shop, we are asking for only 4 guests. The snack bar is still closed. We're actually updating that right now. Just before we came on, I looked at our list, and our last list came out July 3rd, and we pretty much stuck to that for the entire 2020 season. So we'll start that out. So if anybody's interested, they can actually Google the website, the golf course website, and take a peek at those.
That's great. Are there any major changes to the course this year?
Oh, yes. This one's exciting to speak about. We are going forward with a drainage project. As those who play the golf course or even have spoken to people that play the golf course, we have some issues that needed some remediation. And so 4, 7, 13, those are the primary holes that we're working on, but there are other holes and areas that we will do some work on. 3. We'll have some work done to it, and they're supposed to start Monday. So this whole project was supposed to start in February, and we know what happened in February. So that got pushed back until now, and if Mother Nature is patient with us and gives us a little time, we think we can get that done by the end of April and be ready for our May season. May is the best time on the golf course as far as I'm concerned. So it's a pretty major project for us.
I think a lot of people are like me in that last summer they started golfing for the first time, mainly because it's like was really one of the only things you could kind of do because it's outside and it, so I started getting into it last summer and like I really liked it and I started playing a lot. But I'm just not really good. Like if I break 100, it's like a crazy day. I was on fire. So as someone who is a PGA professional, what are some of the best tips you could give to someone like me who is kind of just starting out?
Well, I think first, congratulations. Perhaps you have the bug a bit, Paul. Would that be fair to say?
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, we were as an industry very relieved, certainly, at the progress that the situation that we found ourselves in, I should say. But it's a weird sport, right? It can be a weird sport. You don't look at the object or the hole that you're hitting towards. You're not reacting to a moving ball. So there's a few different things that you kind of have to take stock of. How many times did you break 100, by the way? I got to ask you that.
I could count on one hand.
Well, you know what? There are some people that have played golf for years and have never done it. So I stick with it. That's pretty spectacular, to be honest with you. I think there's just basics. Always go right back to the basics. Tiger Woods, back when he was with Butch Harmon, would email every day his stance, his setup, his posture, and send it over to Butch, and he would look at it and yeah, that looks great, or ooh, your posture's a bit off. Pay as much attention as you can to that daily. Balance is super important. We all want to hit the ball as far as we can, me included. And sometimes you swing too hard and lose your balance. And that's it. You're better off trying to hit the ball in the beginning with a little better balance and then building up that speed as you go along and you get more comfortable. And there are varying opinions on that, but that's certainly my opinion. Grip is probably the one thing when I give lessons that people struggle with. And you can actually found a ruler. You can take just a basic ruler or a yardstick and check your grip by, you want the heel pad of your target hand. And I'm a right-handed player, so it's my left hand. And it's going to be a little awkward to see, but I would take that ruler and put it underneath my heel pad and my thumb on top of that, and there's my grip. And then I would grab my club, see if I can make that same connection. If I can, I'll go right back to it. Let's see, what else do I have? Course management. Do you play a certain course all the time or regularly?
I kind of bounce around the few courses that are by me. So there's like 2 or 3 different ones. But I did play at Rutgers once last year, and it was by far, and I'm not just saying this just to say it, like it was by far the best pace of play I've ever been on in a course where
yeah.
Because like, a lot of times I'm, especially like in the summer during like peak times, it's like you feel like someone's like right behind you the whole time, or like you're like hitting up on someone. But the whole entire round we played, it was never like that. We were just like hitting it whenever we wanted without having to worry about playing up on someone or with people like behind us. And I was like, this is crazy. I've never played a round like this.
I think, well, that's one of our signature missions, to be honest with you. Pace is a big thing for us. We don't feel that it should take 6 hours to play golf. That spacing, that 12-minute or 16-minute spacing certainly gave you that advantage, which is why we might not go away from it. We'll see. We'll still test it, but it is something that we work on. And I actually want to, mention that our customers make that happen as well. That's not just the staff that do that, because they move. They understand what our pace of play is. So thank you, and thank you to everybody that you played around. You should be able to do other things in your day besides play golf. So Let's see, what else? Yeah, course management, that sort of, like from a personal perspective, if you're keep stats, how many fairways do I hit? How many greens do I hit? Just knowing those things, even though people say I'm a beginner, that can help you right out of the gate. How many putts do I take? That targets a place for you to practice. Let's see, certainly take a lesson.
So that's something that I'd like to ask you about, because I'm
Sure.
somebody who hasn't actually played yet, and I think it's a sport that once you get into it, you love it. But people who haven't tried it yet, it might be a little intimidating for them.
Absolutely.
What can you say is the best way to get started? Like, do I go out and buy a set of clubs, or what do I do?
No. If you want to go out and buy a set of clubs, by all means do. I just like to tell anybody that asks me that question, or any of my clients and my lessons, that you need clubs to play golf, but
Right.
see if a friend or a family member has something that you can at least borrow to go on the golf course first, and really find out if you like the sport.
Right.
And how much you want it, because you can spend $300 on a package set, which gets you everything in a bag and head covers, or you can spend $500 on a driver and then have to add the other clubs. So I think the scary part to golf is there's so much unknown for people stepping in. And you don't need 13 clubs and a putter. You can have 4 clubs. So that's how and start out with a friend. Start out with somebody who's played golf. If you don't have that circle of people, find a facility that teaches group lessons that gets you on the golf course. We're going to start doing that when we're able to this year.
Mm-hmm.
I think the on-course activity, barring golf, just hitting the ball, is more scary than actually hitting the ball. Where to stand, where not to stand. Who tees off first? Where do you drive the golf cart? Where do you walk?
Right.
How should it take me to play a hole? Marking the ball on the green. That's something all in itself. So I would do that, and ask your PGA or LPGA professional.
Sounds good. Good advice.
I'm looking forward to seeing you out there this year, Rich.
I will
We'll get you
definitely
out
give it a shot. I will definitely give it a shot.
Good.
That's like the interesting thing about golf, or like starting golf. Whereas like I could go outside and like shoot a basketball around, never having played basketball, and like I'll figure it out as I go. But with golf, you really need like to put in like X amount of time, and you really need like someone there to be showing you. It's something that's like
Right.
hard to figure out just by yourself.
It is, but I encourage people, even if you don't know, try it. I think, we as golf professionals, and perhaps some of us in the industry, like to say golf is hard. And I'm not saying it's not, but I think it's the accessibility. But you can find a range. You can, go to Top Golf. There's so many different ways to start, and I think it's exposing. I think that's what makes golf difficult. You're the only one hitting a ball at any one time on the golf course, and those 2 or 3 people that you're with have to wait for you and watch you. And I think that's a bigger hurdle to get over than the actual physical swinging of the golf club. I know it was a bigger hurdle for me. So that is my encouragement. Get out, and you know what? You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to hit a ball in the woods. You're going to lose tons of them in the beginning. Go ahead.
It sounds to me like the same like when people go skiing with me. It's like, you're gonna fall. You really have to find a way to enjoy your day. You might have to sacrifice the first few trips because you're spending it learning, but once you get the hang of it, you love it.
Absolutely. And actually, there we go. I'm a horrible skier. I actually tried snowboarding about 15 years ago and spent way more time on the ground than I did up in the air.
That's the way it goes.
It is. It is. Great analogy.
Well,
That's perfect.
well, Lisa, thank you for coming on for talking about the course. I'm excited for it to open and to finally get back out there. So we'll give you the last word. And if there's anything else you'd like to say, feel free.
Oh, well, the sun's out. I think we've kind of turned the corner. Every time I say that, knock on wood, because we do get storms in March, that's for sure. But I look forward to having anybody out that wants to swing a golf club. Come on by the pro shop. We actually give out clubs for people to hit on the range, and look out for some of our programming for the summer, when we can move forward with that. So, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you, guys. This is awesome. I love doing it. Thank you.